Hey there, y'all. Figured I'd come out with a quick video for the morning here. We were supposedly going to have ticker ATGL IPO today, and they moved it until Friday, which I kind of saw coming. But what really sucks is kind of like what I mentioned to a buddy of mine yesterday, is what they decided to do is move ATGL to Friday, and then throw GVH right there along with it. Um, so the way it kind of looks is, you know, um, I doubt that both of those are going to go live on Friday. Um, I would expect GVH to be in line ahead of ATGL. Um, that's kind of just the way it looks as of right now. Um, we'll see what happens, but like I said in last week's video, I didn't really see ATGL, uh, going live for, at least a week or two. So, we'll kind of see what happens. But anyway, it's one of those things where it's sometimes we get the underwriters, that last minute they'll want to change something, or something needs to be amended, but most often than not, when we get this kind of crap going on, ultimately what it is the SEC and FINRA, basically holding things up, uh, not doing the work that they need to be doing to make sure that things go out on time when they're supposed to. It's not like every single IPO that comes along that's constantly getting moved is because, the underwriters. That's a bunch of bullshit. Um, what it comes down to is the corrupt SEC and then corrupt FINRA. And, they have the final say so. They get to decide, when they're ready, basically, because they want to be able to manipulate whatever they want when they want, and control whatever they want when they want, um, which is pretty typical. It's just how it is. That's the system. Um, and that's just the way it's been since the creation of the Federal Reserve and the central banking system that the Khazarian Jews literally created, and then forced everybody under their thumb. And those who didn't comply, well, they were thrown into utter poverty, and they don't get to live the lifestyles that we do because of that. So um, anyway, as long as we got Jews, and it's kind of funny because here in America we have a saying, about Jews and their money. And all I'm really going to say is the stereotype pretty much fits perfectly. And I hear a lot of people, oh, you can't stereotype people, or for whatever reason. It's like bullshit. I mean, stereotypes fit full on, most of the time. 90% of the time, a stereotype is correct. So, that's why we have police that don't do a freaking thing anymore. It's because they can't really do anything. And I understand, sometimes stereotyping is unfair, but, 90% of the time, excuse me, um, it's pretty good accuracy. So, anyhow, a little fun fact there. Um, so we'll see what happens Friday with these IPOs. Like I said, ATGL, really looking forward to it. It's a Hong Kong IPO, prime number capital, 1.75 million shares, and 2 million post IPO outstanding shares. So you get a combined 3.75 million shares. That's probably the tiniest. That this IPO probably has the tiniest float that I've seen out of every single IPO so far this year. Um, I'm really looking forward to it. With GVH, you know, it GVH is just kind of one of those ones where it's like, you know, I don't really like it that much, but you know, I think that it has a little bit of potential. And you look at what's been going on lately, and it's like, you know, they kind of, the good ones, they've just been trashing. The SEC, FINRA, they've been manipulating them because they know that people like them. And, you know, so they've been hammering down on them. It's like, you know, um, that last one that we saw by Network One, that uplisting, it was just totally hammered, and that was intentionally done by corrupt people in D.C. and New York. Both of them, both those places, entirely run by Jews. Um, but you know, it's you have to trade the market, and you know the way the market sits, and adapt. And if you can't do that, then you ain't gonna make it, and you might as well just give up. So you learn, or you keep making the same damn mistake over and over again, and you lose all your money. So lately, the shit IPOs, they've been doing great. You know, the ones that nobody wants to talk about or mention, you know, they blow up 100, 200%, and you know, make people a lot of money. And then, you know, so it's like, well, GVH, I might as well play it, because like that last one that I made 150% on, it was pretty much junk as far as I'm concerned. Um, you know, but it did really well, you know, considering, you know, it dropped on a Friday and had super low volume, but still blew up 150%. I really wish that they would have dropped ATGL today, because it was basically the perfect day. You know, not really a whole lot going on in the market. You got some that are up 30, 40%, and like one, you know, one that went up over 100%, and it's kind of just piddling around. So, you know, today would have been an awesome day for an IPO. It's a shame that we have, you know, corrupt government entities that can't get their shit together. Um, a lot of those people just need to be beheaded because they're useless as hell. And eventually they probably will be for the crimes they've committed. But, you know, that's in the future. And, you know, I can't say for when, you know, when for sure it's going to happen, but, you know, it's coming. Um, Anyhow, I guess I'll wrap up the video there. I don't really have too much more to, you know, go on and rant about here. So anyway, Friday, you know, we'll see which IPO drops. Have a day trade available if you're, you know, one of those accounts. You know, if you're one of those accounts that's limited, then go get 2 brokerage accounts is what I recommend. I use E-Trade and Webull, and both those are decent platforms. I use Webull mostly for day trading, just because it's a better app for that overall. You know, I can wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning if I want and start trading, versus E-Trade where, you know, I'm waiting until like 4 o'clock before I can freaking make a trade, which is kind of freaking stupid, because E-Trade's been around a long time. They should have their shit together way better than they have. But anyway, all right, I'll talk to y'all later. If you got any questions, comments, put them in there down below. I always love to hear what y'all have to say. You know, I get a whopping like 8 views or 10 views or whatever, but you know, I don't really care. It's you know, I'm here doing this for me, and then for anybody else that, you know, wants to hear some truth. Um, and yeah, so y'all take it easy. I'll talk at you later.